and Terran both even on expansions right now. And actually, I'm sorry, I want to point this out. This is actually really cool. Something that some Protoss players do to stop Hellion harassment here, because of course a lot of the Hellions like to run through the back of these mineral lines. It allows you to get some more shots in while you're kiting away from whatever units are trying to chase you, and get a few more kills. And it's a little bit easier to keep the Hellions alive if you can run back through this spot. But of course the pylons here going to prevent him from running through there if he did do any Hellion harassment, which does not look like he's going to. And plus these pylons up here at the line of sight blockers going to prevent him from using this as a route of escape or attack. So very, very thoughtful pylon placement from ppgBubbles. Also getting up his robotics facility, it looks like, and a forge. So continuing his tech, it looks like we are going to see robotics units, although the question remains, is he going to use Immortals or is he going to try to go for the Colossus tech? And there is the robotics base. So Colossus tech it is going to be. It would appear we are going to see Colossus coming out here, and I'm not sure if he's going to get that range upgrade straight away or if he's going to try to get the first Colossus going before getting the range upgrade. But it's pretty good to get that range upgrade. But here comes an attack from ppgBubbles, moving up, keeping the Zealots in the front, and here comes an EMP. That took out a lot of shields from these Protoss units here, and trying to do some more damage against this Terran army, splitting the army with all those force fields, but it is not going to be enough. Ooh, even a couple of sentries getting caught there at the back of the army, going to have to back off. And ppgBubbles managing to get a decent amount of his forces away, but he did suffer some pretty serious losses. And meanwhile, the losses for QXC did not seem to be quite as substantial. And of course, the two ghosts are still alive in his army, which is not a good thing. You do not want to have to face ghosts. The EMP ability from the ghosts is so powerful against these gateway units for the Protoss that it can be really troublesome to deal with. And looking at the harvester count, we can see that QXC is actually starting to catch up to Bubbles just a little bit, 58 to 52, and with the help of the mules, that's actually not going to be too big of a deficit. As we can see, their income's very similar right now, although ppgBubbles does have a slight advantage on the gas, it looks like, so he is still slightly ahead in that. But looking at the resource tab right now, we can see the supplies for the two players, 113 to 114, very even game right now, and both of them, as you can see, keeping their supplies very low. Both players only having a couple hundred of each resource at the most. But going back to the production tab here, we can see that there are some upgrades starting to be researched here. We've got +1 for ground weapons for Protoss, Zealot charge, and there is a Colossus on the way. And here comes another battle. Great force field splitting the Terran army just a little bit, although not too much, but that is going to prevent those units from kiting, which is definitely a big deal. And taking down that Immortal is also a big deal with how many Marauders we see here. Marauders just tear through Stalkers, although it looks like he may just have enough Stalkers and Zealots here to overwhelm. But ROOTqxc is going to go ahead and stem and run away, does not want to lose the rest of those units, going to try to save them. And of course, if he does get some medevacs out, he will be able to go ahead and heal those up. And he is getting his starport up right now, so it looks like he may actually be going for that medevac tech right now. But looking back at the base of ppgBubbles, he is in pretty good shape here, putting up a couple more gateways. He does have the forge with the upgrades going, getting +2 attack on his upgrades now, it looks like. And Zealot charge is getting pretty daggone close to being finished up here. So ppgBubbles in a great position, also getting that gold base up and running. And it looks like QXC also going for his own gold base. And you can see that there's the ghost image that is going to indicate that is indeed where he's going to land that command center. And he is going to try to defend that with his army here of Marauders and Marines. And it looks like he still does have one ghost in the mix as well, which is absolutely important, although as you can see the ghost kind of standing out in front there. If he's not careful, ppgBubbles can actually just poke up in there, pick off that ghost before it's really able to do anything. But a bunch of SCVs being transferred, going to allow him to get this up, and he's going to transfer it into a planetary fortress. But here comes the army from ppgBubbles, and he's going to force QXC to back up, and he's trying to focus fire down this planetary fortress. The SCVs try to repair, but it's not enough, and it looks like he is going to try to focus on the army now, taking down a lot of Marines and Marauders, and it looks like ppgBubbles is actually going to be able to clean this army up possibly here. Only 3 Marauders left, 2 Marauders left now, and the medevacs and Marauders are going to have to back up. Meanwhile, the SCVs still at this gold base are going to have to retreat, and it looks like ppgBubbles in a very good spot as he heavily reinforces, and even taking his gold expansion, taking QXC's gold expansion, so he is going to have 2 gold expansions up and running. And I don't think the QXC saw that, If we take a look at his vision, yeah, he does not see that there are buildings warping in here yet. Although, did he just see it there? No, he did not. So he's unaware that right now Bubbles is taking his gold expansion, which is very, very aggressive to be expanding in your opponent's gold on this map, because the map is very much split in half, and taking that base means you are right at their front doorstep. I mean, you can see on the mini-map how close they are, but just to give you an idea by land, this is, here's the gold right here, and oh, go right up here, there's the bunkers defending the natural there. So very, very close. He is going to have a hell of a firefight on his hand if this game goes for much longer, as QXC tries to break out of his base and reclaim, and it looks like he is getting that command center up and running again. He is going to want to expand to that gold base once he gets that up and running, but little does he know that this base is up there. I still don't believe that he scouted it. No, he sees the pylon, but that pylon could possibly, oh, I'm sorry, hold that thought. There is a drop here going down, taking out some of the miners for ppgBubbles, but also another drop going down at the natural. So doing some really great harassment, and this is actually going to trigger Bubbles to go ahead and attack the front door. So moving in here, and there is not a whole lot to defend this. So it looks like QXC may actually be in a bit of trouble here as ppgBubbles moves in and even pulling off all of the SCVs. Here comes the Vikings. They did take out the Colossus, but there is still a very formidable ground force here. But meanwhile, it looks like this harassment is still going on in the Bubbles base. He is trying to hold it off at the gold, trying to hold it off as natural, and it looks like he is indeed going to be able to hold it off, but he has sustained a decent amount of loss of workers, but it doesn't seem like it's going to matter because he just has the gold base up at this. And actually you can see barely, if you can see that through the Nexus, there's a wireframe for the command center trying to come over here and land at the gold. So he is still not aware that that base is there, although it looks like he is about to find out that, oh my goodness, he just took my gold expansion. That is not cool. And here comes some Archons too from Bubbles. Just going to go ahead and get those Archons out. Those are not something that you see a whole lot in StarCraft 2 so far. But yeah, those Archons are definitely going to be able to go ahead and take on those Vikings that are landed. And GG from QXC. ppgBubbles showing that he has what it takes to play at the top levels of StarCraft 2. Thanks for checking this game out, guys. And like I said, keep an eye out for ppgBubbles. He is a fantastic player. He's done very well on the North American ladder, and I really think you guys are going to be seeing a lot more from this guy. So definitely keep an eye out for him, and I will try to get as many of his games casted as possible since he is part of my team, Team PPG. Definitely look for big things from PPG as well. And once again, thank you for everybody who tuned in to our live team face-off between Team PPG and Team SH. That was a lot of fun. We may be doing another one of those soon, so definitely keep an eye out for those. And for those of you who missed the live event, definitely tune in next time. It's going to be a ton of fun to watch those games. And of course, ppgBubbles will be there in the flesh, and he'll be dominating people as usual. Thanks again for watching, guys. This is Akaya. I'll see you guys next time.